Welcome back to Sunrise. Two hot topics now. There are growing concerns our national security is at risk with the Australian Defence Force failing to meet recruitment targets. The ADF needs an additional 9,000 people every year, which military experts warn conscription may be required to bolster numbers. For their take, let's bring in host of the Triple M Nightshift, Luke Bona, and commentator Cath Webber. Good morning.
Morning.
There's no denying dwindling numbers pose a serious threat for Australia's security, but is conscription the right approach, Luke?
Yeah, look, I don't know if conscription is going to work in this day and age. You've got plenty of young people that will say, no way in the world. And I've spoken to many members of the ADF who don't want conscription because they don't want to be serving with people who don't want to be there. So you're going to have to change the mindset, make it more attractive. I think joining the ADF, if you're a little bit lost, you learn a trade, you learn some discipline. I think it's probably a good thing, but it isn't for everyone. And being told what to do, and you're going to now have to join the army, for 2 years? I think that's what happens in a lot of countries. I think a lot of young Australians will say, you're kidding. And then what do? You stick people in jail if they refuse. I remember we lost Simon Townsend recently, Australia's first conscientious objector, and I reckon there'll be a lot more of them. I don't think it'll work, and the people who are already in the ADF don't want to be side by side with people who don't want to be there.
It's interesting, Cath, because this is coming from a retired chief of the Australian Army. I mean, he's sounding the alarm, saying we're not getting enough people. What is the answer?
Yeah, and I think this is why it's good to be talking about big ideas and putting everything out there and making, giving some awareness to it. I don't think it'll work either. I think countries like Sweden and Finland, where it's been compulsory, and, Sweden, interestingly enough, stopped in 2010, brought it back in 2017 when the country thought there was security threats, and the vast majority of people were for it. I don't think you'll get that buy-in in Australia, and I think Luke's right about ADF. You don't want to be surrounded with people who don't want to be there. But what is amazing, I think their marketing's really great, right? But are they telling you the benefits? Like, especially now with buying a house, you can get army, or defence home loans and rental assistance, universities, trades, like great salary. The superannuation is unreal. Yeah. So maybe they just need to switch it a bit as well as to, in this cost of living crisis, there's great opportunity there. And also, I think we should make an Aussie version of Top Gun every third year, because when you watch that, you're like, I would join.
That's an idea. The guys on the beach, maybe.
Yeah. I feel the need for speed. But are we talking about boots on the ground serving overseas, or are we talking about people behind the scenes, mechanics, engineers?
No, I think we need both.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Both, probably.
That needs to be made clear, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit more than guys on the beach. Now, are we looking at a future without smoko? Kmart has told the Fair Work Commission it wants to end the break, claiming that as few people smoke and as people drink water during their shift, there's less need to take the 10-minute pause. Luke, do you have smoko at Triple M?
No, don't have time. And it wouldn't be smoko these days, it'd be vapo, I think. I don't know.
Or coffee-o.
Exactly. But look, no, this is a smokescreen. This is an absolute G-up. This is about the Australian Retail Association going into bat with a number of big retailers. And what they want to do is they want to get rid of awards, and they are saying, OK, well, we'll pay you an extra 25% if we get rid of those penalty rates, Sundays, public holidays, and those breaks. And for people, certain employees who are on a certain award, to get you up to about $67,000. It's got nothing to do with smokos. It's about getting workers to do away with their entitlements and saying, we'll pay you an extra 25% if you actually do away with them. I think you've got to read between the lines on all this. There's more to this than meets the eye, trust me.
Is this a farce, is it, Cath? Do people take coffee-o and go to the far coffee shop because they really like the brew and then spend half an hour going out?
Yeah, no, I think it's TikTok-o for the young ones these days. It's like they don't care if they're having water, coffee, vapos, smokos. It's just like, can I check my phone?
Right. Doom scroll-o.
Yeah, scroll-o, that's it. That's better. Look, I agree with Luke. I think it's a slippery slope. I think, this is about laws are there to protect vulnerable people. Now, on face value, I'd be the person to say, I just want to work through and get to the end and go 10 minutes early. But the reality is, I think most common sense Aussies and employers and employees can work it out. Like, it's busy right now, do you mind working through, or I need to leave 10 minutes early. They're all fine. It's the dodgy employers that you're trying to, protect people from, and I think that's part of it. And I mean, back in our day when we were young, I mean, you smoked just so that you could genuinely get a break. Everyone was out there. You felt sorry for people who didn't smoke.
Right.
Yeah, and you were in with the crowd. I mean, if your boss smoked, you'd learn to smoke so that you were in the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Yeah, and people who didn't smoke go, I'm missing out on all this conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It got all the goss. There was no TikTok back then.
That's
it was
right.
just,
There's
cigarettes
some
and
give and take. I mean, come on, can't you work it out with your boss? Don't we
That's
need all
right.
these rules? There's too many rules, I say. Thank you. We'll see you
Have a
next
good
week.
weekend, everyone.
Chevo.
see you.